Good morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. So happy that you're here. You made it to the middle of the week. Congratulations. It's Wednesday, last I checked. And we have a little bit of fog, a touch of poor visibility in spots, given the fact that it's been raining in spots throughout the night. And we'll examine that with the radar here momentarily. But I'm looking at places where there are gray areas, like Wartburg's got visibility down less than a mile. It might be even worse in some areas where you see some white outside of our viewing area, but I would imagine the Smokies have some patches of fog as well, so just be extra careful as you head out this morning. Temperatures right now are at 73 in Knoxville. It's very humid. We have a southwesterly flow of air. You can see those red arrows coming up from the Southern Valley. So where we have the wind, we have the humidity. It's all coming up from the Gulf of Mexico indirectly, and at least we have temperatures right now in the upper 60s in Oneida. It's 69 Middlesboro. Our friends in Newport are waking up at 73 degrees to start the morning. And the dew points, as I indicated, are high, so when it rains, it can pour. When you've got a dew point around 70, that's about as extreme as saying the temperature's 100. You got a 100-degree temperature, that's hot. When you got a 70-degree dew point temperature, that is awfully stuffy, and that's what we're dealing with this morning. And if you want to take a look at the broad view, which I could do at least a quick examination of, tracking the clouds and the radar together, you can see plenty of clouds blanketing the area, covering most of the state, but there are a few passing showers that are coming in from the west at this time, and we'll examine that momentarily. But at least get you out the door. Today's going to be a cooler day. Are you kidding me? Yesterday we hit 82. Today, I expect we'll hit about 79. We'll be lucky to hit 80. If you get in the low 80s, you're one of probably the few. I have a couple of, like at Maryville at 80, 82 Sevierville, but most of us upper 70s, so I want to say good morning to you. I see Fred's watching, Angie's watching, Chad's watching. Got them on my phone here, and I also want to check your comments, but my notes reveal, because I'm a note taker, we hit 82 yesterday, started the morning at 70, picked up only 0.01. At the airport. Now, you may have had more. You may have had much more. You may have had nothing. But so far, we're about 3.25 for the month. Normal high and low, 88, 69. The record high, 101 from 1934. And believe it or not, in 2019, our record low comes from 2019. It was 57 degrees that morning. So for context and comparison, I just wanted to share some of the stats and statistics with you this morning. So this is where we are headed today. I'm expecting a high in Morristown, 80, and 78 in Crossville. Let's get to the radar, because that's what some of you wanted to see this morning. For those who are watching live, as many will watch it on delay. I know that too, but the ultimate Doppler radar, presented by your local Marco's Pizza, shows a little light rain right there from Harriman to Wartburg, just west of Clinton, areas in southern Fentress County, some steady light rain maybe there, and some yellow areas as well. More heavy rain north of Morristown, stretching into Hancock County as well as Hawkins County. And you can see some of the red areas there. Not much in the way of lightning at this point. In fact, I'll probably just turn that back on. But I want to show you what's been happening over the last 8 hours or so. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're seeing in terms of the rainfall, because while you were sleeping, it looked vastly different. Some of these showers kind of paraded in here, mainly north toward La Follette, then faded away at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Now you can see it's moving back into the play. So this is going to keep a blanket of clouds. And you can see the lightning counter on the bottom right is so 0. So we're not dealing with much in the way of convection or thunder this morning, but we do have the possibility of more rain. By the way, Marcos.com, a great place to go if you're making lunch plans, whether you're ordering in or dining in. Hardin Valley, Farragut, Maryville, they've got locations in Fountain City, Halls, Oak Ridge, Middlebrook Pike, and Ebenezer Road. Now under new ownership, new leadership, they are also corporate sponsors of No Kid Hungry. They give back quite a bit to the local community. And as far as the large pepperoni pizza, check out the Magnifico for less than $10. The Pizzoli, a great lunch item, I might add. My favorite's on the top there, the pepperoni and sausage. It is a limited time only for less than $6. You might want to check out the new Pizzoli from Marcos. Love Marcos. By the way, as we take a look at the radar once again, there's just a conveyor belt of rain that's coming up from Mississippi, coming up from Alabama. And this is the way and why temperatures are going to be a lot cooler, I think, today, versus where they were, say, a week ago. Because remember, a week ago, we were in the 90s. We haven't had a 90-degree day in roughly a week's time. So it's a pretty long time to go that long in summer. But, hey, so it is. We have excessive heat warnings. I believe there are warnings, yeah, in Montana. Garfield County, Montana. Runs until 9 o'clock on the 25th. They have heat advisories in parts of North Dakota. So they've got some issues out west as far as the heat, a couple of showers near the Chicago area. And further south, you can see there's more rain coming up into the Houston area, where I believe southeast Texas is under a, they're under a flood watch. They've got some flood concerns in southeast Texas this morning. So there's just kind of an idea of what's going on around the playing field and how we are connected, because all weather is interconnected if you really think about it. I want to show you the drought monitor. I know this came out last Thursday, but we're getting a new one tomorrow. So when you get a new one tomorrow, sometimes it helps to see where we are now, because this map could change. Given all the rain, think about how much rain have you had in a week's time? Because when the new drought monitor comes out, we could see some vast improvement. Now, when you look at it in terms of levels, we have 5 levels. Level 1 is the yellow. Level 2 is the brown. That's moderate drought. And the orange, which we love orange in East Tennessee, is the severe drought, and many areas from the plateau are in that condition. The drought monitor shows it's a moderate drought for Kodak, Sevierville, New Market, and you can see areas around LaFollette, moderate drought, but up toward Oneida, it's abnormally dry, level 1. But once you get into Harriman, Kingston, now it's been very dry over the last couple of weeks, and that's why they have places like Rockwood, Fairfield, Glade, and Crossville under the severe drought, as you can see across there. And then, of course, around the state, it gets even worse, well south of Nashville, up north, just north of Huntsville, where they have exceptionally or extreme conditions in some parts of the country, no doubt. Want to check in with your comments. I see Carrie's on here. She's going to note that, hey, it's a good morning. She notes have a fantabulous day. Thank you, Carrie, for that note. Love having you on here. Got a weather report from Fred. Fred says he's got 72 degrees this morning in Maryville. I'm on both Facebook and YouTube. And speaking of YouTube, my good buddy Steve Stone, who I had a chance to meet, as well as his family, at our Twisters premiere, which we got to see last Thursday. He says good morning. He's got his happy face and his sunshine. Glad to have Steve here. Always appreciate the notes that were coming in. Wanda Poe also noting that she says, good morning. I am a fall and on winter team. She's on fall team and winter team. She is not a fan of this heat. She's saying ready for football. But who isn't? By the 31st of August, I think we'll all be in that camp for sure. But go Vols, they will be playing, of course, this upcoming end of August. It's hard to believe that the summer season will be winding down in about a month's time. By the way, Knoxville rainfall, as I mentioned, 3.25, 3.26. We're just about 2 inches shy of getting back to normal. And it's hard to believe, but we could. As I see it, we're probably on track over the next 7 days of 1 to 3 inches plus. 1 to 3 inches plus. Think about that. That would make us above average, potentially. We could have an above average July and say, there's no way above average. It was so dry. It all comes in stages, right? It is dry now and has been. Some of the comments, if you look at your Facebook comments a week ago, my grass is crunchy. My grass is crunchy. I heard that. I heard a lot about the crunchy ground, and it has been very bad and tough. But I do think things are going to turn around in a big way. Here's what it looks like projected-wise, at least on by 5 o'clock today. It may not be the quantity that you hope for, but it could be steady. Just kind of like a light rain that's constantly there. That's why I left an 80% chance of precipitation rain today. Once we move into 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, the rain gauges, the virtual ones, do increase. We're over a ½ inch in many areas from LaFollette to Crossville. Once we move into Friday, 5 o'clock, may add a little bit more. By Saturday, I think most of the rain, in my view, is mainly in the Smokies. But once we move into Sunday, it comes back. Once we move into Monday and Tuesday, it comes on like gangbusters. It's a boom, look at that. By Monday and Tuesday, we start to see those areas begin to populate in yellow, and that's usually 2 to 3. Usually 2 to 3 in the yellow area. So we do have potential for much more rain in your future as well as mine. So that just wants you to get prepared for that. And yes, we had our second cool day for the month. In fact, the coolest day of July 2024 thus far. In Knoxville, we hit 82. The last cool one was, I guess, last Thursday at 84. But we've been as hot as 98 on the 98 degrees on the 14th of July from earlier this month. So I just want to give you some context. I got a wonderful note here from Marilyn Bell. She says, "Happy Wednesday, everybody." She says, "Enjoy this beautiful day." Thank you, Marilyn. And Esther's watching live. She says, "Good morning, David." She's got 72 in Washburn. Have a good day. Thank you for that update, Esther. I think we all appreciate knowing what's going on in Maryville. We now know what's going on in Washburn. If you've got a comment, a weather observation, love to see it. Just share it with me as we continue on. It is now 6:49. My goal is to be done at the top of the hour. I can be done in probably less than 11 minutes, but I'd like to check in with you periodically. We have 11-mile-an-hour wind in Knoxville, but no wind to speak of in Oak Ridge. So it does vary. I think winds today will be generally 3 to 8, variable if not out of the southwest. We have 72 Nashville, 73 in Johnson City. These are our current temperatures. And you'll notice there's some uniformity, right? Low to 70s across the state of Tennessee, and many of our dew points are around 70. And upper 60s, low 70s is awfully stuffy. There's just no getting around that for sure. The feels like temperature may be similar, but once we get warmer through the day, the feels like temperature has a little more utility, has a little more purpose for sure. Let's talk about the humidity tracker. Some of you really like seeing when's this humidity going to get out of here, or will it in the short term? Probably the short term is no. The answer is no, because there's a lot of green oozing all over this map right through Thursday and into Friday. But could see some drop in the humidity, maybe for our friends in Kentucky. By the time we move into Friday, yeah, it looks like it's moving out of Lexington and Louisville by 7 a.m. Friday morning, but it's still humid here. And there's some thin spots in that coloring in the mountains of western North Carolina. So their humidity may drop a wee bit there. But does it really take hold here? By midday Friday, the answer is still no. It's still humid, but maybe Friday night. Tri-Cities, looks like they see a drop in the humidity. And that means dew points might be getting back into the lower 60s, upper 50s for some up in Kentucky. And then, oh yes, then Saturday. Saturday, we might see a drop in the humidity as we may drop into the mid to upper 60s briefly. So it isn't all lost, but again, it is summer. You kind of expect the humidity as part of the equation. Tracking some clouds. Boy, do we have those. Once the sun is up, and it came up minutes ago, it's going to stay, I'd say, mostly cloudy today. There will be some thin spots to allow for some hazy sun, but that might make you cry with tears of joy because your grass was crunchy a week ago. Yes, it was. But now it's not so crunchy. Maybe it needs a little more rain, and it's going to get some whether we hope for it or not, because you got to be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you pray for. Your cup may overflow with. By the way, 8:46 is when the sun sets tonight. We are losing some minutes. And when you think about it, the normal high is 88. And we're only headed to 79. That's it. That's it, my friend. If we get into the low 80s, like I said, you might be considered lucky. July 24th, that is today. Last I checked, we've got clouds. We've got rain on occasion. And it might just be a light, gentle rain, but that's okay. Temperatures will stay generally around 73 through 10 and make a run towards 77 at 2 p.m. And here again are my high temperatures for today. If you're on the call, just want to say good morning to you. Check in the comments. I got Ed. Ed's on here. Good morning, Ed. He says, good morning, Mother Nature. He notes, seems grumpy these days. You know, Ed, I think you're onto something. I think you're onto something, Ed. I think, you know, Mother Nature has this way, on occasion, to certainly feel like you're kind of in that strange, we come back on camera, so it kind of feels like it's kind of grumpy. But given the fact that the pendulum swings, it's kind of like if you went to the beach and you said, you know, this ocean is kind of grumpy. It was a low tide this morning, but it's a high tide this afternoon. It kind of works that way. So, Ed, you make a very good point, but thank you for your comment. As we go back to the maps, wanted to show you what's going on and how things are likely to change. I got a note. I'm looking at my phone. Robin, come back on camera. Robin's watching. I've got Wendy watching. I got Joe watching. I'm glad to have you all here. By the way, Friday, I'm not unaware. We have the Olympics that start in Paris. And some of you might be wondering, what can I do to get the forecast in Paris? Well, guess what? You can access it on the Captain Accurate Weather. Ooh, I likey. You mean the opening ceremonies are Friday? Yeah. They run to, like, I think the 11th of August. So you might want to know what's the weather going to be. And I've got some really cool, I made them some time ago, but some cool app tutorials. There's a total of 7. They might run about a minute and a half or so each, but you might want to watch the first 2 so you can figure out how to get a 7-day anywhere in the world. If you wanted to know what the weather was like in Afghanistan, if you want to know what the weather was like going to be in China, you want a 7-day forecast in Japan, any place, but we're more concerned about Paris because that's where our athletes will be for a period of time. Check it out. And it's very easy to download the free Captain Accurate Weather app. I think you'll be impressed. And it's very easy to access with just the App Store and Google Play. Now, as we transition to the tropics, it's 6:54. Notice there's still a few patches of yellow in the Pacific. That just means there's a hint, and that's all it is, 20, 30%. There's a hint that something tropical could form there, but usually it's late August into September when we see much more activity. It is like quiet. It's like a library in the Atlantic. There's nothing going on, which is good news if you happen to be vacationing at the beaches this upcoming week. Hurricane season, as I note, historically is September 10th. That's when it usually reaches its climax as far as the number of storms. Most activity is centered around Labor Day. That's just the way it typically goes. By the way, the next name on the list is Debbie. If your name is Debbie, we're not picking on you. Your name was predetermined many years ago, and yes, these names are typically recycled every 6 years. Some people say, I remember there was a Burl before. I remember there was an Alberto before. Unless it causes a lot of damage, they don't usually, they usually repeat that every 6 years, but they have been known to retire names once they cause a lot of havoc or destruction or death. More storms today and tomorrow. Few storms on Friday. I've got a 30% chance. I think spotty storms are possible on Saturday. It is 6:55, just bringing you up to speed. We have that southwest wind currently of 11, but it is humid, dew point 70. Temperature 73. Valley Planner shows how low we are from the mark. The normal high is 88. And if we get to 79 for most, we're going to be about 9 degrees below average. And that's okay. Like I said, it was 98 degrees on the 14th of July. So if you can have low tide, you can have high tide. If you can have high temperatures, you can have lower temperatures, and that's just nothing to be too concerned about, but it is the way this pattern is yielding. And you can see the chance of rain is high. As long as those chances are high, we have a better chance of staying a little bit cooler relative to averages. I do have Sunday back into the low 90s, but that's when the rain chances will be increasing late in the afternoon, and especially Monday, Tuesday. So let's get to the Storm Prediction Center maps. Again, this is a division of NOAA. They focus on the lower 48. They focus on the colors where there might be some severe weather activity breaking out. And you'll see there's a lot of patches of dark green here. So we've got the general green, that's just general thunderstorms there in Tennessee. But some of these areas in dark green would suggest isolated severe storms. That includes Phoenix. That includes Tucson today. That includes Boise, Idaho. Who do you know lives in Boise? I don't know anybody. Well, maybe I do know somebody in Boise, but you might have some family out west. You might have family in the Big Apple or hanging out at Virginia Beach this week. If that's the case, they have the potential for some isolated severe storms in dark green, but coming back home, most of us in East Tennessee are fair game for some rain or rumbles of thunder. Thursday, one little patch that would include where I grew up, which was Wilmington, Delaware. There's Newark and there's Philadelphia, but it also includes Washington, Baltimore, as well as Lancaster, PA, Fredericksburg, as well as much of South Jersey. So if you're interested in severe weather tomorrow, that might be where you get a hot spot tomorrow, but outside of that, pretty quiet. Knoxville shows general thunderstorms on Thursday and generally on Friday, but like I said, there's a lesser extent. I left a 30, that's all, just a 30% chance of rain for Friday as some of that lower humidity tries to move into Kentucky and drops further south over time. So as we get to the futurecast, it is now 6:58. I mentioned the little pipeline, a little conveyor belt, as it were, coming up from Mississippi. You can clearly see it's like a fire hose. Mother Nature's fire hose coming up from the south and west. There's 5 o'clock today. There's tonight. We've got more rain. You mean it's still drippy tonight? It is. It is. I mean, can you take it out of the forecast? It's a squeeze play between the two fronts. We've got a stall boundary south of Atlanta. We've got a front that's trying to drop down north of Lexington. And as it slides into town, it produces more opportunity for showers and storms to form, and so it goes. Once we go into Friday, I don't see as much. That's why I said I left a 30% chance of something developing on Friday. There's 12 noon, and then pretty much on its way out. The low begins to move across South Carolina on Saturday. That's why I left just an isolated shower or two across the Smokies. Most of it on Saturday should not be affecting your outdoor plans. So I think Saturday's probably, and it's really Friday. Friday, Saturday are likely to be the driest looking days we have in the short term. By the way, another look at the Futurecast. This is a different model, and it's a little closer in, so you can pick out your favorite town. This suggests some downpours, maybe some thunder in red around Crossville, Wartburg at noon Eastern. So you have the potential for some thunder today. By 2 o'clock, most of it looks like it's north of Interstate 40. Now, I'm not saying this is going to verify, but it does suggest that there will be more activity flaring up, so be on your guard. Keep your umbrella in the car, as it were, just in case if you're have some errands. By later tonight, that is projected to be 8 o'clock or so, it fills back in. Some lighter rain, maybe less in the way of thunder, but just some showers that are moving across the board. and that takes us into Thursday morning. The pattern will stay unsettled, no doubt, heading into your Thursday afternoon. There's Thursday, more showers here, more showers there. It's a pattern where you really cannot dismiss the fact that there is going to be some ever-present chances of rain. So I left an 80% today, a 60% chance tomorrow, and then just a 30% on Friday. So here's your forecast. It is now 7 o'clock, straight up, 79. We'll be lucky to hit 80. Clouds, hazy sun, some showers and storms, winds 3 to 8. Highlighting Kingston, Rockwood, 79. Knoxville, Marble City, Scruffy City, and Mechanicsville, 79. Seymour, just close to 80. About 80 for Morristown, 81 for Newport and Jefferson City. About 83 for Chattanooga if you're traveling, and 87 for our friends in Atlanta. We're looking for a low of 68 tonight, patches of fog, and you guessed it, there will be more clouds, plenty of them, showers and storms. About an 80% chance tonight of some light rain or showers, maybe a rumble as well. But we're down to 64, my expectation, in Middlesboro, Bell County, Kentucky, 67 Newport, low of about 70 for Tellico Plains, 67 for our friends in Oak Ridge in Anderson County. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. If you like it cool today, relatively speaking, although it's still humid, it is cooler, 79, a couple of degrees warmer tomorrow at 81, and then we're back in the upper 80s on Friday, on Saturday. I think our hottest day may be Sunday. We bring back a 91-degree day before we're back in the mid-80s Monday and Tuesday. And, of course, I'll revisit this as we head into the week ahead. But I want to say good morning to you. I got a note from Denise. She just wants to say good morning, everyone. Hi, Denise. I love the little doggy there. Denise Jarbo, good morning to you. And Wanda Poe, let's see here. I have Ed on here. Wanda said, wonder when David will show up on the list. I wonder what she says. What list? Are you talking about the comments? The comments are here. I got one here. I could check you on and off, but I love having you here watching this live. By the way, if you are interested in that information about the Paris, France forecast, all you have to do is download the Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic. It's weather and traffic perfect together. You get all the National Weather Service alerts. We don't shortchange you there. You get all of those plus 3 extras plus lightning alerts, which can be very helpful if you're spending some time this summer at the lake, at the neighborhood pool, or by the beach this summer if you're spending some time by the shore. But by the way, interesting, the lightning alerts are just one of the great features on the app. By the way, the premium service, if you're not aware, I've been running this almost 2 years this October. This is a service where we focus on the weather that goes beyond the next 7 days. So if you're interested, you like to be a planner, and some of you really do, like to know what's going to happen. Are the tropics going to light up in the next couple of weeks? Are there some areas in the country that might be more susceptible than others? We kind of look at that with maps each and every day with a post we call What's the Next Big Thing. First, to see every forecast on the premium side, you're also getting more Facebook Lives, typically 4 extra Facebook Lives per month, because I usually give them a Sunday as special on Sunday to plan for the week ahead. You get fewer ads, and also the premium service is very easy to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. Go to CaptainAccurate.com if you want more information, but it's really affordable. It's just 16 cents a day or $4.99 a month. You can cancel anytime, but try it. We've got a lot of folks who like being in there. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time, and don't leave the umbrella at home. Make sure you pack it today for sure. Take care.